Okay. My name is Odie Hawkins, and today I'm reading the final chapter, chapter 18 of Conversations with Likka Sto Rufus.
Oh, I'm sorry, you got it right.
You don't know Black History, do you?
I am Black History.
I am Black History.
Okay, so let's zoom in on the I am Black History map.
I just thought I would throw this on for a moment to remind those who may have been following this story that here's what it's about.
Hold on, let me see it. Okay.
Here's what it's about. I don't need that.
All right.
We know I'm Black History.
This is true.
There's this guy, Willie West, who's writing a novel. This is a brief little replay of what has gone on. And he's writing a novel, and you get to the point where, hey, you know, it's hot and all that. I think I need a gin and tonic. Mm-hmm. Or he comes up with something called gin and ginger beer. Ginger beer, as everybody knows, is a Jamaican drink, ginger flavored. Goes down to the shopping mall right down the street from him, and there's a guy who's standing a couple of yards to the left of the door who is panhandling, but he's doing it in a way that is kind of snarky. You know, first of all, he doesn't accept coins. His name is Rufus, but at this point, Willie West, the writer, doesn't know that. He finds out about that soon afterwards. He gives the guy, a couple of dollars. That's a fair contribution to a panhandler's thing. Rufus is not impressed. What am I going to do with this? Mm-hmm. I mean, these days, you can't even buy a 40-ounce can of beer for $2. You know, I think it costs, I don't know, close to $3 or something like that. But anyway, the brother, they're all brothers. The brothers decides to up it a little bit and, wants to give him $5, which puts him in Rufus's good graces. Now, the funny thing is, we found out a little later that Rufus is not an alcoholic out there panhandling to try to get money to go get a 40. He's a Vietnam vet who had a very peculiar, very interesting history. As a combatant in the Vietnam War, he was a tunnel rat. This was a special group of people, mainly Australian, but they also had an American branch. He was in the Australian branch. They got hold of him, 5'3", 125 pounds, perfect for climbing through tunnels. And what you do in a tunnel at that point in time was to go in, find whoever was in there and shoot them to death. That was his official job. Willie and Rufus sort of hit it off. Willie is a story seeker and Rufus is a storyteller. So it winds up becoming this kind of thing. And for the last 18 chapters, I've been making an effort to tell something of the relationship that Likka Sto Rufus, who incidentally, like I said, was not into liquor, but since he did his panhandling near the liquor store, they called him Liquor Store. I don't know how you happen to be a teetotaler and not, well, that's another story. He winds up being stricken by COVID, living in a tent behind the liquor store owner's liquor store, the Kims. And it gets to be a funny thing because his girlfriend, Willie's girlfriend, is coming down. Liquor Store Rufus has died, but he died in a way that would not seem heroic. ZiZi Lago persuades him that you don't have to just...
ZiZi Lago is...
is Willie's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
She's coming down from San Francisco to spend the rest of her life with him because they are in love. They met at a political convention. Politics does make strange bedfellows. I couldn't resist that. In any case, she persuades him that you don't have to, you're a fiction writer, you don't have to just simply stay true to the actual fact that he died of COVID. He was involved with a lot of things. He may have told a lie about having a wife and 2 kids in Australia. He may have told a lie about even being a tunnel rat in Vietnam. But since his sense of imagination was so great, why would you just simply short-circuit him by not continuing his fabulous thing? Whatever he died of, he died of. In this instance, it was COVID, but he didn't have to die just a simple, dumb COVID breath of seeking air for his lungs and breathing hard. He could have went out heroically, singing La Marseillaise or something.
Yes.
So, that brings us to chapter 18.
19.
I'm sorry, 19.
Chapter 19.
How can you tell what page it is? I'm looking at it and I can't even see it.
Got a strong imagination.
You too cold, girl. Too cold. Salena-Hawkins, who is the producer, director, film editor, sound person, strict advisor, and cool baby.
Ooh, thank you, Willie Hawkins.
A cool baby.
Okay, your baby.
A friend of mine used to say that about women he was in love with. She's a cool baby.
I'm a cool baby. Okay.
I didn't fall completely to pieces. I laser beamed. Oh, before I start, did I show you the cover of this book?
Oh, okay. Hold a moment.
Cover is
let me zoom
a painting done by Carlos Spivey, artiste.
Yes.
The back photo covers, back cover with Salena-Hawkins with blurbs by Justin D. Gifford. Wow.
Professor.
Professor. Oh,
yes.
Schools of Noir, my dear.
There you go.
Professor Giffords.
Yes.
They're all close friends. One of them is my wife. That's not Gifford.
Nice.
And they've been so supportive that I can't help but make fun and laugh and be cheerful because that's what it's all about. I didn't fall completely to pieces. I laser beamed on the pages starting on page 51 that I was going to send to Sally Abrams. I corrected small details, rewrote a few events, very certain that I had the flavor of Rufus simmering in the pot. I got all the way up to our last meeting, the place we were when we had our last meeting. Do you feel a little guilty, maybe responsible for her being where she is today? No, not really. What you have to remember, Willie, is real simple. Shit happens. I went to the beach, staggered around like a delinquent drunk, looking for the right way to bring the conversation to the end. I felt like I was inside of some weird kind of maze. But in the middle of all my angst, I carefully checked my ballot and sent it in. No more Trump. ZiZi kept me up to date on the beast monster's tricks and antics. Biden was the winner.
Oh, shit.
Willie, I don't know what it's like down there in Long Beach, but San Francisco is in the freak out zone. People are dancing in the streets with and without their masks. Music is playing everywhere and the plague is killing people right and left. I want to be in your arms so bad. I felt the jubilation too. It wasn't as exalted for me as it was for her, but I felt the tension grow slack. I think it was best expressed on the face of a whatever card I saw in Renee's Shades of Africa. A beautiful little cocoa-colored boy's face peeks around the corner of a thatched hut and asks, "Is the trickster gone yet?" Of course, losing the election wasn't enough for the trickster. He had to keep on losing and losing and losing in the courts, the recounts, everywhere. He even lost an attempted coup, using 13 weird-ass white Republicans as a suicide squad. He was still losing when ZiZi made her way into my arms. When a fiend like the Beast Monster lost his Twitter account, you knew his world was gone. Well, almost. ZiZi Lago, the last name, it means lake. ZiZi Lake. Soon to be Mrs. West came to me to my large roomed, one-bedroom, third-floor apartment on Linden Avenue at 8:30 p.m., November 27, 2020. We stood in the front room and held on to each other for at least 10 minutes. We had visited each other, but this was different. Ceremonies were going to be performed, we knew that. But for now, for our time with each other, we just felt the urge to hold each other. I have to smile thinking back on our first moments together. I opened the champagne. We curled up on the sofa, sipped our bubbly, and talked till dawn. One of the most important things we talked about was the house we were going to live in. I think I may have found our spot, but you'll have to check it out. There was this house on Olive Avenue between Myrtle on the east and Atlantic on the west. I had made it my business to drive past this house in the middle of the block for a full week at different times of the day and night. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a noisy, drug-ridden scene. It wasn't. I'll save the story of how ZiZi Lago West outmaneuvered 3 other couples to get into our house. Willie, we're going to have this house. This is the one. Retracing a bit, we were almost 4 days inside of our blissful bubble before reality reared its ugly head. What's with Rufus? We were sitting at the kitchen table spooning up blueberry banana smoothies at midnight when the question popped up. I hated to tell her that Rufus was dead, another victim of the virus plague. I don't think I've ever heard such an anguished sound in my whole life when she moaned, "Oh my God, no, no, no." We left the table and went into the bedroom to do a really hard moment that lasted for a couple hours. I had to make a confession. ZiZi, I don't think I have the classic so-called writer's block. It's just that I feel I want to be true to Rufus's spirit. As wacky as that may sound. We nodded off, cuddling each other's arms, feeling sad. The delicious aroma of freshly brewing coffee woke me up. ZiZi brought a cup into the bedroom on a tray, all spiffied up in a black jogging suit. This was looking good, real good. Where do you jog? Let me drink this and I'll show you. Our married life was beginning. We drove over to Bixby Park and, Lord have mercy, found a parking space. Oh, I remember this. We trotted down the hill, passing the huge yoga class on the bluff overlooking the ocean. We smiled at each other at the sight of all of the butts sticking up in the air. Down to the beach for a jog to the last lifeguard stand and back. I was sweating like a pig and was completely out of gas at the end of our jog. Looks like I'm going to have to up my game to jog with you, sweet fan. She just nodded in agreement and grabbed me around the shoulders. I love you, Willie. I wouldn't care if you couldn't run at all. A man likes to hear things like that. back to the pad for hot showers and a midday nap. Something I hadn't had in a long time. I could feel her eyes on me before I was fully awake. ZiZi, what are you doing, baby? Just watching you sleep. We shared a smile and a gentle kiss, and she squirmed up against my right side. Willie, I've been thinking about what you said concerning being true to Rufus's spirit. Now, please don't get me wrong. You're the writer in the family. I'm held on a brief, but not so hard on creative writing. I gave her a little peck on the nose and lips to grant the permission to give me her thoughts. Well, you're writing about a person who is obviously very creative. Why shouldn't you be creative with him at the end? I mean, does he really have to die the way he died? Couldn't you have something else happen? What else did he want to do in his life? The same thing with this lady you've spoken about, Miss Annette Glover, Molly. Yeah. What else was she going to do with her life other than drink herself to death? I was crawling out of bed, struggling out of my bathrobe, struggling to put on my bathrobe and get to my desk at the same time. ZiZi had lit the fire. It took me approximately 3 hot days to do what I had to do with Rufus. Just as he said, he wanted to go back to Australia to his wife Yvonne and his sons Melvin and Irvin, no matter whether they existed or not. I slipped Mr. Kim into the action to make it real. Fantasy is the mother of all inventions. Yo, Willie, writer man, I'm gone. I've been trying to get back to the enchanted land, my Australia, for years. I will be in touch with you, don't worry about it. But I had to head up. Give my best regard to your lady ZiZi. Bright moments. Melvin Montaigne Dixon III, a.k.a. Likka Sto Rufus. I stood at Mr. Kim's elevated counter staring at the note he had just given me. Please, step to the side, please. Now, this is pure fiction. Mm-hmm. Of course, he had customers to serve. I moved to one side. He sold the brothers their favorite pints of booze and redirected his attention back to me. Rufus gave me this note for you about 2 weeks ago. I've been waiting for you to come in. He says he's going back to Australia in the note. How could he go back to Australia? Where did he get the money? Mr. Kim leaned across the counter to whisper, he won some lottery money. How much? I can't tell you that. Well, just give me a ballpark figure. Was it more than 10 grand? Yeah, he nodded, yes. But less than 20 grand? Once again, he nodded, yes. I got a pint of Sequin gin to go with my ginger beer. I was going home to write a beautiful ending to a conversation with Rufus and celebrate his good fortune. Mr. Kim leaned over to whisper to me again as I was leaving. Please don't speak about this to anyone. I don't want people to overrun my store, okay? Mrs. Annette Glover's story was much easier to deal with. After years of being under the influence of the demon wine, she had stumbled across Sylvia Brown's book, The Other Side and Back. Sylvia Brown, the psychic woman, had given her the experiences she needed to straighten her life out. The psychic's word had jolted her soul, returned her mind to the thoughts of the beautiful life she remembered as a devout Christian. It wasn't easy for her to have a rebirth, but she pulled it off with the help of a vibrant preacher named Warnock. Warnock. Mm-hmm. Warnock, that sounds familiar.
Yes.
Maybe I could say the rest is history, but who knows? Like I said earlier, ZiZi danced circles around these couples who were trying to get to our house. I almost felt sorry for them, our competitors. Willie, remember what I said? We're going to have this house. This is the one. We need to turn off the cornbread. Never will forget it. So, how did you pull it off? No, baby, how did we pull it off? It had to do with concentration and focus. Most people are not focused or concentrated. That's what gives us an advantage over most people. I'm not being egotistical or anything like that. You're focused on your writing and I'm focused on the law. Dig it? The house was built way back when, but it was our house, a work in progress. But it was our house, not an apartment with heavy-footed folks above and the crazy music underneath. Aside from everything, we were lovers in love with our love. Our love was strong enough to see the beast monster thing. ZiZi added names fast that I could keep track, as though he was a creature in the rearview mirror. As Rufus once said, shit happens. ZiZi practically forced Cockrande and Associates to establish a Civil Rights Division in their law firm. 5 wizard lawyers under her, 5 Willie. After the January 6th invasion of the White House, as a firm condition of her coming aboard, there was no opposition. Mr. Cockrande spoke volumes in an email when he informed ZiZi, "We are first and foremost attorneys for the rule of law, and I am an African-American citizen of this democracy. Proceed."
Ah, how nice.
You want a boss like that who has...
Yes.
That's what the man said. And from that point onward, it was on. ZiZi's Civil Rights Division had a bunch of cases to deal with, both cold and hot. Seems that police couldn't stop shooting people to death, especially people of color. Despite the fact that we were doing well financially in the middle of the plague, we had decided not to have any babies until the Trompesto madness had calmed down a bit. Can you get ready for this? This dirty, rotten, snake dog, asshole cop is trying to make us believe that he shot 6 times and killed his sister because she was reaching into her waistband for a weapon and he feared for his life. The sister was 9 months pregnant and didn't have a weapon. We have lots of work to do. ZiZi's Civil Rights Division at Cockrande's, those 5 attorneys we spoke about, were busy as usual. The Abrams-Hasoff-Wernick Agency made a very lucrative sale of conversations, alerting a couple of foxy producers to the scent of new blood. Nothing like a new movie. And Sally Abrams is enthusiastic about my latest bio novel dedicated to the memory of Melvin Montaigne Dixon III, a.k.a. Likka Sto Rufus. The prophetic title is Shit Happens. And that's the conclusion of Conversations with Likka Sto Rufus. Listen, we're pulling it to an end on this side, but we'll be back with you next Tuesday, reading from a collection of short stories that Zola Salena-Hawkins has picked out, chosen her very own self.
Yeah.
And I'm proud and happy to be able to continue with what we're doing here.
Why, thank you.
Hey, thank me.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, so we'll go on off to some pompano, some flan, some green vegetable, and homemade cornbread.
All in that order? That sounds terrific. Pompano,
Flan,
green
vegetables of some
vegetables
sort.
and
Japanese sweet potatoes.
Oh, hey,
Okay, we're ready.
this sounds like a winner.
And following
Itness.
itness. Thank you.